feel.
And don't y'all think it's odd how you could be really into somebody and then off them the next day?
That's crazy.
That's crazy
See,
behavior.
that is the scary part about love.
But off them like forever, or you just saying off them for that
Because
day?
you're going to have your ups and downs.
Because you're gonna have
Yeah.
it. If you're in
I
a relationship,
I
you're
feel
gonna have
like a
those.
lot of people though get off people quickly. Like they be so into you and then they be like, okay, I'm done.
Well, they wasn't into you
Fever
then.
dream.
Yeah, I think quickly, yeah.
And you can't look at it. You can't think like when you looking in the mirror, like, damn, what did I do?
Oh, I never
It's
do that.
them. No, I'm just saying anybody in general.
yeah.
Like, you can't be like, what did I do? Like, if they get off you that fast,
Yeah, don't.
then it was never meant to be in the first place.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
like, you can get off somebody for the day. You get off somebody for a couple of weeks. That's what relationships is all about. You know, y'all go through ups and downs, but like getting off you so in deep with somebody, and then you like, the next day you wake up, you like, this shit's trash. Now, that's crazy.
That's
we on the right show. We on the right show.
Ladies, listen to the king. Did you hear? He say, look in the mirror and say what, king? Tell the ladies because they need to hear.
You gotta look in the mirror and say it's not me.
Yeah,
you know, it's
the
not
ladies
me.
need to hear that.
And by the way,
y'all
the
be
men
having
too.
Yeah,
the men too, because it's some cutthroat, ruthless ass bitches out here right now too.
Yeah.
Listen, I sit in the locker room. You know, I'm in locker rooms and shit now. But you know, it's a lot of women out here that's now kind of flipped the script.
Mm-hmm. They ain't going for everything.
And you know, some homies out here that's trying to be good too, and just trying to figure it out. And now they looking in the mirror saying, "Damn, what did I do wrong?"
Okay,
but homies, it ain't you.
It ain't always you.
Even if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if it ain't, champ, like you just gotta.
I do think people.
No, LeBron is. You could tell maybe he on his retirement arc. And I think that he got 2 more years inside of the league because lately he's been very matter of fact and candid about the way that he's speaking, and he's not really tripping him off no endorsements and all of that stuff. But on this, I think that he's 100% right. And that here's the biggest thing about that, though. If you are in the NBA, right? Because a lot of guys think that it's about your money, that it's about your finances, it's about your resources, it's about clout. Bro, some of those dudes are getting used and abused just like everybody else. And it's a chick that's going to monkey branch off of him. And they're going to use the fact that they've been able to get in certain rooms and what it is that they learned about you and all of that stuff into getting into another relationship or another situationship. And it's not always you. It may be your inability to vet effectively, but it's not always you. And you're going to have to understand what their intentions are from the beginning. And when people say that I'm off you, a lot of times it's the straw that broke the camel's back. It was a long time coming. It wasn't something that, just so happened to pop up all of a sudden when y'all got into an argument. It was some inherent things that was there that y'all just ignored because maybe you liked each other. Maybe you got a lot of time with the person. Maybe you don't want to let it go or something like that. But the reality is when people break up, outside of the cutthroat part, and we're going to come back to the cutthroat part, and I want to see if there's something else that LeBron got to say about this. When people wind up going their separate ways, that is not something that y'all just got into one argument or y'all just separated over something small. It was this movie with Jennifer Aniston and, what was the other guy's name? It was this movie, and it was called The Breakup, right? And it seems like it was a small thing that just led into a bigger argument, and then next thing you know, they was breaking up. And they let it fester, and they never addressed it. But the real caveat to that was that they was always really beefing with each other, and they always held resentment for each other, but they never really addressed it because they just made everything else work. And I do think that there are relationships that could work even though y'all may not necessarily get along in one particular area. And my philosophy is you focus 97, 98, 99% of your time on the thing that you like about the person and 1 to 2% of the time on the thing that you don't necessarily care for that you got to work on. And you just go where you appreciate it and not where you tolerate it. But it's a lot of people that's also living in delusion with the person that they may be in a relationship with because they're not situationally aware of the fact that that person is a monster and that person is cutthroat and it's not necessarily you. And it's a lot of people that also lose themselves in relationships and they become something completely different than what they were at their core because they were so busy trying to make sure that they made the relationship work and they become a completely different person and then they got to get back to who they are to remember, hey, wait a minute. How did I end up in this space in the first place? I want to hear if you got anything else to say about this, because low key, he was cooking on this. And let me also say this before we continue on to this. I didn't even know that Savannah James still was having this podcast. I thought that this thing died. And I'm very much afraid that she gonna get the Aisha Curry treatment as soon as she says something weird, because we reviewed this maybe like a year or two ago or something like that, and I was like, no, not Savannah James. It may have been even a year and a half or two ago or something like that, because let me not say we all. I personally hold her in high esteem because I think that she's the personification of how a wife is supposed to present herself to the general public and not embarrass the person that she's with. I am very skeptical of when women start to get the microphone and they start to get podcasts and they are in a relationship with somebody that's very high profile, and the fact that they're going to ruin our perception of them. But then again, it's not up to me. If he decide that she want to have a podcast and he cool with it, hey, be okay with whatever it is that come along with it. But so far, apparently, she hasn't said anything incendiary, so we'll see what happens. Let me see more of what he got to say.
It ain't always
Even if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And if it ain't, champ, like, you just got to.
I do think people need to hear that, because I think so much of dating and being in relationships is so transactional now.
very beyond.
Now, they need to hear, stop forcing it. Like, if it's not there and, like, y'all, it's too toxic to where, like, y'all, like, that's my biggest thing, because I know a lot of friends that, like, just, I'm like, bro, you're obviously telling me things that, like, I would have been just stopped it. But, like, they just scared to, like, stop it.
Scared to be alone. That fear of it's scared to be alone and fear of, like, losing comfort.
That's
like
grow.
the biggest issue is, like, and people don't know that until they go through it.
Love
What did they bring out, an all-star cast and pulled all favors in order to make sure that they got this podcast popping or something like this? Because I don't even know why Kai Cenat is here and why they talking about relationships. But let's continue.
yourself.
Nope. Y'all out here dropping the people need to hear
Gotta
this.
hear that.
Sounds like a lot of niggas in therapy.
Yeah. Love that. We love that. We love that. I feel like people do need to hear that, because I feel like a lot of times the fear of being alone or growing feels so foreign, especially for men of color, that they just shy away from it and do what's easy. But what's easy typically is toxic. Or, like he said, bitches is crazy.
I know I don't want to be alone. That's for damn sure. If I got to fight, crawl, scratch, fight, whatever to keep mine, I got to keep it. I got to do what I got to do. I don't want to be alone. I'm an only child, single parent household.
Don't say that out loud, King. Don't say
I met my homies for the first time in when I was 7, 8 years old. We started playing sports, and I got around them, and we started traveling, playing sports. I was like, oh, this shit is amazing.
Yeah.
And then when I got with Vanna, and I was like, oh, this shit is crazy. Oh, this is amazing. I love this shit. I'm like, nah, fuck that. Next time I'm alone, I'm being a
don't say that, King.
champ.
No, I love that, but I feel like a lot of people don't value relationship in that way.
It shouldn't be in one.
I think a little bit differently. I think that you should always be okay with being alone, and I also don't agree with the idea that he said that out loud in front of her, and I know it's probably going to be some people that disagree with that. But I don't agree with that, simply because I think that you start to give them ammunition, and you also start to give people a leg up to be able to use that against you, because they know in the back of their mind that you don't want to be alone, and that's something that they can then leverage in order to try to get one up on you in certain situations. But then again, even in that situation, it depends on the person that you're in a relationship with. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.